that's all I want to do. Like if I never have a number one record, or like if I never get the opportunity to be the Taylor Swift or the Drake that we were talking about earlier, and like that thing, like I'll still be on a street corner playing somewhere, enjoying my life, because like it's just what it is. Like I just enjoy it.
Isn't it crazy how 3 weeks ago we had a blizzard and now it's just like sunny and 70s outside and not really any high wind miles per hour or anything like that?
Dude, that's Nebraska weather, I feel like.
That's like Midwest weather.
Yeah, I feel like Nebraska's always like, it can be nice. Next day it can be rainy, freezing cold. It's crazy. But I wasn't even here when that happened.
Oh, you weren't here
No,
during the blizzard?
here. I wasn't here. I was in New York. And I remember my parents like calling me like, we just had a crazy storm. And I was like, it's good in New York right now.
You were then very lucky then, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone here, welcome to the 402 on Out podcast. And for my 10th episode, I have the awesome, independent Carver Jones here with me. Carver, thank you for joining me on this lovely Saturday morning.
Of course, dude. Thanks for having me.
For those who don't know Carver, he is an independent indie and alternative music artist. And it's small world. You played basketball with my brother Cole or AAU basketball for one summer.
Yep.
And fast forward to now, I vaguely remember you, but I never had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
But I remember I was told that you never played like actual competitive AAU basketball until like your junior year of high school.
Yeah. Well, I played, I think it was the first year I played with your brother. Like the first year I played like competitive, like AAU. So yeah, it was weird. I kind of just jumped into it, honestly.
And then there's a part of your basketball journey where you received a scholarship, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that later. So first off, I want to say thank you again for hopping on.
For sure.
And I want to start off with before you got into the music industry, fully jumped into this 100%. I want to talk about what your life was before that. So
Okay.
what was your childhood like growing up?
It was cool. My parents, they worked at this place called Boys Town. So like growing up, we lived there in like this house with a whole bunch of kids. And they're like house parents, like, you know, they were like kids would come in from all over and they would like teach them what it's like to be part of a family. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how it was growing up. We just like lived there, and there was always like a whole bunch of kids coming through, and it's like a really big family atmosphere. So it was great. Yeah.
Did you have any siblings growing up too?
Yeah. I have an older brother. He lives in New York. He's in the film industry. He went to NYU and stuff, and he's just like been in New York for the last 7 years. Does like really cool things. He's sick. And then I have a little sister that's a junior in high school right now at Millard North. So,
Do your parents still work at Boys Town?
no, my dad does. My dad, he like runs his own like kind of department over there, and then my mom's like a hospital nurse. Like she does like the surgery room nursing, which is pretty cool.
Have you always lived in Nebraska your entire life?
Yeah. Born and raised.
Always in Omaha too?
Always in Omaha. Yeah.
And it's crazy that you're moving to Nashville now in end of May, you said, right?
Yeah, end of May.
Were you going to keep that like low key, or do people know about that?
Well, we're playing a show on May 25th, which is the day after my birthday. Cause my birthday's May 24th. Playing a show on May 25th. That's like gonna be like our thing. Like this is our last thing we're playing here before we like head out. We haven't like posted about it yet, but like that is like we're gonna do that. And then I moved to Nash. It's like it's kind of low key, but everyone that's like around us kind of knows like that's our goal.
Got it. So back to your childhood. Was music always like a huge passion of yours growing up?
I think that I was always like interested. Like my brother and I, when we were kids, we would like sit down and watch like Michael Jackson videos for hours on end. Like, and I always thought it was the coolest thing. And like, I was always like attracted to it, and I've always like been able like to sing. But I was never like chasing it. Like I was always like the sports kid. Like growing up, I played football, and like I was like pretty good at football. And then going into high school, I started playing basketball. So it was like kind of sports for me. And then music kind of just like was always there. Like it was always something I did, but I never really like took it seriously.
Did you play an instrument growing up?
No, I mean, I grew up. My dad was like he's a big like blues guy, so like there's always guitars everywhere, and like he was always listening to like Stevie Ray Vaughan and like Lightning Hopkins, and that's how I was like introduced to like John Mayer and like people I love now. It was just because like he was a blues guy, and he still is, but like he was like going through like a blues period of his life, and I was like attentive in that moment to like pick it up. And I didn't love it. I kind of hated it. Like I wanted to listen to my things, you know. And then, fast forward a couple years, or 5, 6 years, I was like, this is what I want to do. So
That's like a whole like 180 flip right there.
yeah, it was real full circle. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, but
So what was your dream job growing up as a kid?
I wanted to be an inventor. Like I wanted to like invent things. Like I don't even know like what it was, but I just wanted to create something out of nothing, which is also kind of my job now, with like songwriting and stuff, like creating something out of nothing. But I wanted to be an inventor. Yeah.
And you said you did not know exactly what you wanted to invent. You just wanted to invent something.
Yeah, I just wanted to invent something, and my dad was like, well, if you want to be an inventor, you have to make something like the microwave that's in everyone's house. You can't live without it. And I was like, all right. And I never thought of anything, and then I ended up writing songs. So,
Well, speaking about writing songs, let's move into that now. So what made you decide to go 110% in the music industry? What was that moment?
Well, in high school, after high school, I was gonna go play basketball, like we were talking about how I play basketball, and I decided just not to go and play. And my buddy Alec and Hayden, they were gonna go live in their van and kind of just like travel around. And I was trying to figure out the music thing, and I was like, I want to do music, but I don't know how to do it. And they're like, you want to come on the road and stuff? And I was like, sure. And we would just like street perform and all that thing. So I think that's kind of like what really made me like figure out what I wanted to do, was just like being out there and like street performing and being on the road, and like people coming up and be like, oh, you guys are good. Like you guys should, following us and like kind of putting the life into me and being like, oh, you should do this. And then like from there we ended up meeting our manager now, which kind of also was like, all right, this is like serious, this is real.
So were those just random boys you just met, or were these like your best friends that you've known for a while?
Well, Hayden, we were friends like not really in high school. Like I knew of him, we knew of each other, but we weren't friends by any means. And then Alec and I have been friends since we were like 15. I'd always see him at like high school parties and like things like that. And just like after high school, we like me and Alec reconnected, and he was like, I have this buddy Hayden that plays guitar. This is before I even played guitar or anything. I just sang. So we'd all just like go to my house, and like he'd play guitar and I'd sing. We kind of just like jam out. And then they're like, we're going on the road, which is like, they weren't my best friends, but like they soon became my best friends. It was like very immediate. Like we were living in a van together for months on end. Like we became like brothers, so it was sick.
I guess what were you thinking when you decided, okay, I'm not best friends with these people yet, but I'm just gonna hop in a van with these strangers and try to pursue music with them?
There was no option. I feel like it was like, I didn't even think of it. Like it was just like what felt like I was supposed to do. Like there was just no. I was just talking to Alec about this like a couple days ago, and it was like, I didn't feel like I was like, I shouldn't do this, because it was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. It's very apparent. So I don't really know what it was, but I felt like it was like, oh, this is what's supposed to happen, and then I just did it.
So in our generation, I think you could agree with this. Like our age group, our generation, we love to listen to hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
You and your band, American Dreamers, right, decided to go the other route and decided to do indie and alternative music.
Yeah.
So why did you guys hop on that trend? Was that already something your buddies were making music about or at the time, and then you just hopped in?
Um, to be honest, I think it was just very like reflective of the life that we live and life that we were living at that time, like being young. I think I turned 19 first time on the road. I turned 19 in LA. We were living on the road, and I was at like Hard Rock Cafe. It was like a very crazy night, but like being so young and like living a life of like kind of like freedom and like like not attached to any social norms. Like we're living in a van, traveling, like sleeping in parks, like things like that. That was just reflective of our life, and that was the music that came out of that. I think that it was more like we weren't really looking to have any sort of sound, but that is what it was, you know? Like we could go in the park and sit down and write a song on the guitar, and the song would naturally be about being on the road, driving, meeting strangers, falling in love with some random girl we met in Flagstaff, Arizona or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it was.
It all just came natural.
It was just natural. It's just what, you know, just what seemed to be the thing.
So you and your buddies got this Ecoline van, and as you've been talking about, you've been traveling the whole country. Was it someone else's like personal van, or did you
Yeah.
guys like all pitch in money to buy this van? And
Yeah, so I wasn't like, even like I was saying earlier, I wasn't even planning on going. Alec and Hayden already had this plan like premeditated. They're like, we're gonna go do this, and I started hanging out with them 2 months before, and we just all clicked and like, well, you want to come? Things are better in 3, and I was like, sure. So Alec and Hayden had bought the van, and was just like, do you want to come? So yeah, it was their van and like their whole idea, and I just kind of was an addition to it.
who
So
drives the van?
we would just take turns, like, because we would drive so long, and like it would just be like, here you got 4 hours, I got 4 hours, you got 4 hours, like it would just like completely rotate.
So as I brought up before I started this interview, I thought Omaha Magazine did a great job interviewing you and talking about your traveling.
Yeah,
I feel like when you watch movies or like biopics, like that's how a band would start off. They go in an
Yeah.
Ecoline van or like an RV,
Yeah.
and they just travel around cities, local towns, the whole country, supposedly. Is that common still?
no, I think the idea of what we were chasing was like, it's the fantasy, and it's like goes back to the American Dreamers thing. It's like the dream. So we weren't like, there was no like actual logic involved. Like I feel like nowadays a band is more likely to sit in the basement and go crazy on reels and TikTok and all that. But like that just didn't naturally seem like what would work for us, you know? And also we weren't gaining any experience by that. And I think that like what we're trying to do and what we are still trying to do is just like live for the experience. And I'm trying to like experience like playing shows for thousands of people and experience like all these things. And sometimes like the internet kind of can diminish the experience. So like I don't think it's common, but I do think that it's necessary for the experience.
Has your van ever broke down yet?
Yeah, it's broke down right now. Yeah, so we've been like, we haven't really like gone on like van trips in like a minute, like a year or so, because we've been here like figuring out like our next like sustainable move, but also like we'll fly places now and things like that. But yeah, it's an old van, man. It's
So has it ever broke down on the road, like in the middle of nowhere?
no, it's never broke down on the road. We've had like engine problems where we're like, oh man, I don't know if we're gonna make it. But also like we've also ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere. But that's like not the van. That's just us being like careless and be like, oh, we can make it. We can get every dollar out of this gas tank. Yeah, we've run out of gas a few times.
So when something like that happens, do you just call like 911 or just ask for a little bit of gas to be pumped in?
Dude, the time that really stands out is we were in Washington State and we were planning to go like up this mountain. I think it was Mount Helen. I could be wrong. I might be wrong, but we were planning to go up the mountain. We had enough gas to get to the top. And I'm scared of heights. I didn't want to go up the mountain anyways. And they're like, bro, no, we'll be good, we'll be good. So we had enough to get up the mountain, but we didn't have enough to come back down, which we didn't even account for. So on the way down, we ran out of gas. So it's a downhill, it's a downhill trek. So we're kind of like, we have like nature on our side. Like we're going downhill. And we end up like running out of gas like a mile away from a gas station. So Alec, we had bikes on the back of the van. So Alec like hopped on a bike and filled up like a water jug with gas and then drove it back, put enough to get to the gas station. But that's like one of the ones that stands out to me.
So you brought up how Alec and Hayden, right?
Yeah.
So American Dreamers.
Yeah.
You shared how they kind of started, it was basically those two, and then they asked you to jump on. You said sure.
Yeah.
You took a bet on yourself and jumped in with them. It's been a crazy journey for you guys.
Yeah.
So it's obviously still an active band, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to get that out of the way. And I've been meaning to ask this. I think you've been asked this question before. What is the American dream to you?
Yeah, it's I think the best way for me to put it is just like whatever you want, like whatever you really desire and like are compelled to do is like your American dream. It's so like to each and every like single person, like it's not like one overall arching theme of like this is the American dream. I think the American dream is like you figuring out what that is for you and then figuring out a way to get it and live that dream. But yeah.
How important have your band members been in your music journey?
They've been really important. Me and Alec have been like best friends since like we like went on the road and things like that. And Hayden and I too, but Hayden's now in the military. So like Hayden was like it was like us three initially. Then Hayden kind of like he just found another path that he wanted to go down and ended up going to the military like maybe 9 months ago. So we started playing, like when we really started playing shows was with this kid named Max Soderberg that is like also like one of my best friends. And him and I connected a year and a half ago or so. And he's just like been with Alec and I ever since. So like that's kind of become like the what the band is. It was like us three. But like initially it was us three with Hayden. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah, I do know what you're saying. So Carver Jones, that's your legal name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of artists like to change their name, either have a nickname or just completely change their name, like their name to a random name that's not even their legal name. So why did you decide to keep your legal name as like your professional name as well?
Honestly, I just thought it was cool. Like I think my parents did a good job of naming me. And I was like, I don't feel like I should change it. Like I don't meet too many Carvers out in the world at all. And then I was like, I want to be very like honest of like who I am and transparent. The music's transparent, and I feel like I'd be lying if I changed my name a little bit. But like, it's cool if people do it. Just for me.
Do people ever call you Carve for short? Yeah. Is that common?
I think it's common. Yeah. Just like my friends and like people will just like call me Carve randomly, which is like not a nickname I had until I was like 20. Like until like I was like 19 or 20. Like until I started doing music, people never called me Carve. Like as a kid, that was never a nickname.
I kind of want to go backtrack to the basketball scholarship that you talked about. Is it okay if I ask what college offered you?
Yeah, it was York. It was like York, Nebraska.
And your plan was to play basketball there.
That was my plan. I didn't have any other options, really. It was like, if I'm gonna go to college, I might as well go for free or like go for cheaper. Mm-hmm. So it was like, yeah, I'll just go there and play basketball and do that thing.
And you played with notable people such as Hunter Salas and St. Thomas, correct?
Yeah. Those are.
What was it like playing with them?
It was always a little bit intimidating because I was always the worst one. Like.
That's crazy to say that as you were still offered a scholarship to play collegiate basketball.
Yeah. I mean, they're just a different level of like athlete. Like Hunter and Saint and JJ and like all of them are just like NBA talents. You know what I'm saying? Like Hunter and Saint are like there's just no way you're like competing. At least me, like it was fun, but like if they wanted to score on me at their will, they would. You know, like it was just that easy for them. So natural, like natural basketball players.
If you were offered a Division I scholarship
Yeah.
for basketball, would you rather? I want you to be honest with yourself. Would you take that route rather than the music route?
No, no. I think that I love basketball. It was never natural for me. Basketball is one of those things that like I really had to like I work at, and I work at music. But I think basketball is one of those things. It's like I feel like it's just not. It wasn't as natural as music is, and I think that like when I really started playing music and like getting on a stage and playing shows, I was never scared. But I would be like fearful of like playing basketball because I was like, I don't feel like I'm that good at this. Like there's nothing that's like I'm okay, you know. But like when you feel like you're really good at something and you're confident in it, it's a whole new like light that you like stand in. So like yeah, I don't think I would. It would be fun. I think there's like an idea. Everyone's like, I want to be a D1 athlete. That's fun. Like so many perks to that. But yeah.
How do you bet on yourself?
How do I bet on myself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think it's just I believe in what I'm trying to do, and I also just love it so much that like if I don't know if it didn't work out, which I don't believe that it won't, but like I think it's actively working out, and I think it's just like enjoying the journey, and there's no pressure. I'm just like actively enjoying it, so I believe in myself.
Where was the first place you performed at, and how did it go?
Well, the first time I ever performed, really, well, in high school, like my senior year, that's when I really started like getting into music. But it was not the same music that I'm doing now. It was more of like R&B, rap, like what was really hot at the time, like very like not self-aware of to who I am, but just like kind of following the trend. And I'd perform at like people's basements, like parties and stuff like that, which is like very rare, but like I'm sure some people would remember it. But I kind of like discount that as like me like actually doing music. It was just more like fun. But like the first time I really performed, let me think. I like a proper show, not on the street, would be like I think New York. I played a New York show. Me and Alec. It was just like bass and guitar. We played it at Soho House in New York. It's like an industry night thing, and my manager, a whole bunch of his like friends and people from the label came out, and yeah, it was fun.
Were you nervous, obviously, during that time in New York?
Yeah, I was nervous, but just goes back to that thing I was saying. It's just like I have a built-in confidence with music that I don't really have always in the rest of my life. So it's like I was nervous, but also it was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Like whatever happens is supposed to happen, and it was fun. It was great. We had a good time.
Have you ever flown yet for a concert or a performance yet, or have you always just taken the van?
We've flown. We went to a couple times. We went to New York and played. Where the van just was out of commission. We also went to Denmark and played a wedding. Our manager's brother, and like the dude that manages us is a dude named Drew Kaklamanos, and he's like family. Like he's like we're all family, including his like family. Like we've all become family because the dude that actually found us on the streets is his brother, and was like, you should like manage these kids in Oregon. But like we went to his other brother's wedding in Denmark, and they flew us there, and that was like crazy.
Can you share that moment when you went to Oregon and you met Drew's brother first? Like,
Yeah.
because that came into, again, a full circle where you met. Omaha Magazine wrote a great job about it. I just want to have like your voice express that. So can you
Yeah.
share that whole story real quick of how you met Drew and his brother?
Yeah, so back to like the idea of us us being on the road living in the van. We just made our way to Oregon, and I initially didn't want to go to Oregon. I just had I didn't even know what was up in Oregon. And my friends were like, like, bro, Oregon's cool. They have cool waterfalls and stuff like that. So we ended up going to Oregon, and we had been street performing like all throughout everywhere we gone, like playing on the streets, just like meeting people. And like one particular day, we just played on the streets of like this street festival fair thing, where like there was like, you know, those things, they have tents set up all along the street, and people are just like out. There were hundreds of people out, and we kind of just like found a lot that no one was in and acted like we were supposed to be there when we weren't. And we just played there for like a few hours, and I had like a cardboard sign with my Instagram. And Drew's brother Alex ended up following me and DM'd me. It was like, I think whatever you guys have is really special, and my brother's in the music industry. You guys should connect. And me and Drew ended up connecting, and he was actually on tour with a dude named Somo. If you've ever heard of him, you might know the song that he has. It's like a big song. Like, I'm gonna ride. You know that song?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's Somo, and he was on tour with him. And we just like we kept missing each other, because I'd be like, let's talk, and he'd be like, I'm on tour. And like maybe a month later, he reached out and was like, hey, like I like what you're doing. I'm in New York. If you want to come out to New York, play some songs for some people, let me know. And I just felt like it was an opportunity I could not pass up. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there like a couple weeks. I got a flight, and I stayed with my brother for like a weekend. And yeah, I met Drew and went to the BMI office, played some songs for them, and kind of really we got the ball rolling.
And you brought up how Drew and his brother are, they're like family to you now.
Yeah.
So how important is it to have a manager?
I think it's extremely important for me. I think there's a level of structure, and there's a level of like, Drew's like older than me. He's 40. So like, he really has like weight in the game and like understands what's necessary. And me being just like a 21-year-old kid, you don't always want to put out a song every 6 weeks. You don't want to always be consistent. There's some things that you don't want to do that you have to do. And Drew like is very like, no, this is like what's important. And he just like keeps us very structured in that way. And also just like lets us know he just gives us like life advice, you know, like advice of like, if I'm going through it with a girl, or like, it's just like a real older brother that also has like perspective in the music industry. It's extremely important for me.
How did you gain that trust when aligning with Drew as your manager? Because I feel like people, when they're going like downhill,
Yeah.
you can partially blame it with their manager for doing a bad job, or just their manager in the back of their head this whole time when they're like introducing themselves to you. They're like, in the back of their head, they want money.
Yeah.
And that's all they see you as, is just a money-making machine.
For sure.
How do you know that was not Drew? How that is not Drew?
Well, I think Drew's thing is he's very transparent. I think he's always told us from the beginning, he's like, what you guys have is extremely special. And like, I want to be a part of that, and I want to do this together. But like, you guys are going to make me money in the future. And that's like also part of it. Like, I know that it's a business. And I know that like, I want to make money for Drew. And I want to make money for myself. And I want to like do that whole thing. But also like the way that we all came together was so like, it wasn't like a coincidence. Like to be in Oregon, 3 kids from Nebraska, to be street performing at some fair in Oregon in the middle of July is just like also random. Like, why are we even here? So I think I just trusted the fact of like, we wouldn't be here if we weren't supposed to. And there's no way in the world that like Drew and I were supposed to align other than the situation of like how it did. And I think I just really trust in that. And then like getting on the phone with Drew initially and speaking, I think that we just like we have a real trust in each other. And yeah, I think he knows like my goals, and like he knows that I want to be like a household name in the music industry and like playing arenas, and that's what he wants too. So
with you saying how like you would obviously admitting that like, yes, you and everyone in the music industry with you wants to make money.
Yeah.
How does that affect your love for music? As in, and add more context, does that mean, like, do you see it more as a job now, or do you still see it as like that fun, passionate, like hobby that's just a career rather than like a 9 to 5 job?
Yeah, I think it's more of that fun, passionate hobby, but there is an element to like, there is a job element to it. There's a little bit more, not pressure by any means, but there's a little bit more just like weight on it. And like, there's certain things, like I was saying, that you have to do. And like, I don't want to be careless with my opportunities, you know? So like, it's fun and like, I do it in my free time regardless. Like I told Drew this, like if, no matter what, like I'm still gonna write a song. At the end of the day, no matter how the day was, where I am in life, like at the end of the day, I'm probably gonna put my emotions into writing a song, and that's inevitable. But there's things that you have to do that are more like job-like, but it's fun. It's still fun to me. It's still my favorite thing to do
So,
ever.
so Drew is your manager that you're super close with. I read about Cody Totterly, a Grammy Award winner, and you see him
Yeah.
as a mentor. How
Yeah.
did you guys meet?
Also through Drew. So Cody was who produced the song with Somo that I was talking about earlier. And Drew and Cody had just, I think Drew has been managing Cody for years. Because he managed other people outside of me also. And he had been managing Cody for years. And we were like trying to figure out a way to just like get some records done. I had a whole bunch of ideas that like I hadn't got recorded. And we had just got back from the road, and Cody was like, well, Drew and I were trying to find a way to like get the records done. And Cody and Drew ended up coming to Omaha. We got like an Airbnb for like a week or so, maybe 4 days, and he brought all this like studio equipment, and we set up in this Airbnb and just like made records for the whole 4 days. And I showed them around Omaha. We went to like Bushwhackers and like all this stuff that like at the time I was like 19, like couldn't go out. Only place we were going was Bushwhackers and like street performing and like just like showing them like Omaha and stuff. And yeah, me and Cody just became like brothers that time. And a few times we went out to LA and like stayed with him and made records. And yeah, he's just like a brother and a mentor. He just has very good instincts musically and great human.
What has Cody taught you so far in the music industry?
I think what he's taught me the most is that there's no rules. Like he's very much like, he'll make a record and he'll use like the wall as the bass drum. Like he's not like, he's very creative and there's no rules with Cody. The rule is like, be yourself and do what you want to do, and like whatever's natural is what the record's supposed to be like. We're not searching for like a hit. We're not trying to like make sounds that are like popular. You're just like having fun and like there's no rules. And I think that's what I brought in the studio sessions with other people from what Cody's taught me is like, let's just let's make a song and have fun. And like, if we want to use the top of the microwave for the bass drum, we'll do it because like we can.
You brought up how Drew's super transparent with you. Is Cody the same way?
Yeah. I think Cody's just like, out of all the producers I've worked with, he's the one that's like, you make the record. Now like structure it and like we'll tailor it to like make it sound great, but like also he's like, you play the instruments and like you tell me what you want, and like I'm not gonna take away from your idea. So he's very transparent in that way. He's also transparent in the way of being like, I think we should do it this way. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, I'll take your advice. Yeah, very transparent.
Does he criticize you a lot?
Not really. I think he's just flowing with like the ideas. He doesn't really criticize.
In all your songs, do you believe in all the lyrics you sing?
Do I believe in him? Yeah. I believe in him. I think it's just like the way I put it is like it's an ongoing story. So not one song is like specifically always about one thing, but it's a story that like I know I grabbed it from somewhere, or like I got it from somewhere. So I believe it.
So speaking about songs that you've written, when I go on Spotify, your number one song is "Middle Name," along with McKenna Grace, an
Yeah.
actress in Hollywood who's in the two most recent Ghostbuster movies, the one with all the females in it, and then the one that came out in like 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
And then she's also in other TV shows I saw as well. And can you share how that came to be?
Yeah, it's a long story. So, Alec and I think we had got back from the road one time, and we were very like antsy. Like there was a time when me and Alec would just like go do random things. We were very antsy, to, like go. We still are, but van was up and running at this time, so like we could go. But his cousin's a truck driver, and his truck broke down in Kansas City. He lives in Arizona, and one day Alec called me and was like, "Yo, what are you doing today?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I just woke up." And he was like, "You want to go pick up Mike from Kansas City with me, and then like drive him to Arizona?" I was like, "Sure." Like, I have nothing to do. I have like $100 to my name, but I like have my street performing equipment. Like, so he picked me up a couple hours later. I got my guitars, my amps, put in the van. I had like a couple, maybe like $100, $200 in cash. Went with him, picked up Mike, and then we drove from Kansas City to Arizona that night. And we're in Arizona, and I was like, well, we're like 4 hours from LA, like 6 hours from LA. And I texted Drew, and I was like, we're in Arizona, kind of close to LA. Is there anything we can do? He's like, yeah. I'll try and see what's up. So me and Alec go to LA. We have some friends out there that we just like we're hanging with, like that go to USC and are in the music program there. So we kicked it with them, and we were just like hanging around LA. Like I don't even know why we were there. And McKenna's on the label that Drew works for, Photo Finish. And he was like, actually, I have an idea that could be really cool. There's this girl that like, she's really talented, and like, I sent her mom some of your records, and they love it. So if you guys want to like go to her house and like hang and like write, you guys could do that. So Alec and I were like living in the van in the valley for like a week, and we just like went over to her house, and her mom was super sweet, and she was super sweet, and she was just like welcomed us in their home, like some like two random like 19, 20-year-old kids living in a van, like yeah, come in, like hang. And we ended up like writing a song, and I wrote Middle Name like the beginning of it, like maybe a couple weeks before, and McKenna and I just like flushed it out, and it was great. And she wrote her verse and decided we wanted to like put it out.
What is the song about?
I think I was like probably heartbroken when I wrote it, and I think it's just more about like the idea of like you fantasize like some girl, and you kind of like have this idea of like maybe one day we'll have a kid with the middle name. I think the thing was I had met so many girls that have the same middle name as their grandmother. Like this is like a middle name that's been passed down. Like the middle name, like your middle name's Marie. So is your grandma. So is your grandma's mom. Everyone passes down this middle name. So I guess the idea was like me thinking like maybe like you'll pass down your middle name to like our child, our life, which is crazy for me to think of when I'm like 19. But like I guess that was like where my head's at, and it was just like unfortunately that's not what this is, and that'll probably never happen. But if it did, that'd be real nice.
Any other artists like as big as McKenna have you performed with or wrote a song with yet?
We played like a couple shows with people. We played a show with this dude named Peter McPoland. That's he's a pretty cool dude. That was like kind of our first like proper like venue show. We played a show with him. I guess not really. Like I haven't really done like much collaboration outside of that. I've only done that, and everything else has just been like figuring out what I'm trying to do and like being true to myself and being very like independent on it. But yeah, just I've worked with like producers that have done really cool things, but I haven't really like got in with many other artists.
What song means the most to you that you've written?
To be honest, probably like something I wrote yesterday that's not out, or like might not come out. But like it's always like the thing that I'm actively working on means the most. I think everything that's out means a lot too. But you just get it just gets cloudy. Like you put it out and you've been listening to it for months and like get it mixed and you're trying to make the song perfect. And then when it comes out, you're like, finally, it's like I don't have to worry about it. But I love all the songs that come out.
Whenever you're like in Omaha, like like say you go to Costco,
Yeah.
or like some public grocery store or some public convenience store, have you ever had anyone walk up to you and be like, "Oh, are you Carver Jones? I love your music." Yet has anyone done that yet?
Yeah, like randomly sometimes. Like I'll go out sometimes with my boys, like we'll be in like Blackstone or something, and somebody will come up and be like, yo, what's up? Like I like your music. Or like some kids will be at like a show we played, opening up for somebody and be like, oh, what's up? Like I was at the show, which is cool. It's good to feel like there's people that like, care or like are kind of like tapped into what we're trying to do. But yeah, I kind of want to like, you want that to happen more. Like it's not like you want to be like famous, but you just want people to like understand and like care about what you're doing. So it's very sweet. It's cool.
So you never been annoyed with that yet?
No, not yet. At least I don't think I will though. Like I just think it's a beautiful thing for people to care enough about what you're doing and like your ideas and like resonate with it, to even go up to someone and be like, what's up? Like I like what you do. I think in this day and age, nobody wants to be like a fan or like to feel like not less, but like you know how it is, like everyone wants to be that person, like the guy, like, and I think it's like very, very like sweet and like humbling for someone to come up to you and be like, I enjoy what you do outside of myself, which is great.
What makes you different from all the other artists from Nebraska?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know if it's different. I think that it's just, no, it is different. It's just like, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I think,
If I could answer that for you, it's like what I said earlier. It's like everyone's on the hip hop and rap wave.
yeah,
Like the biggest names I could think of is Skate was from Omaha.
yeah,
King ISO he still lives in Omaha, but I just remember he had his song drop, or he's part of a Fast and Furious song with The Rock. I don't know if you ever heard that TikTok sound. He's on there and he's still living in Omaha and recording music. I think it's like what I said. Yeah, just what I said earlier. I don't want to repeat myself, but just you hopping on that indie alternate scene
yeah,
is what separates at least our generation.
yeah.
And other than that, I can't think of like any successful 80s or 90s musicians from Nebraska
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
We have like Connor Oberst and like Bright Eyes and like all that like indie scene. And the thing is, there was like this really big like indie like alternative scene in Omaha, like at a time, which I didn't really know much about it, but like I would like go places and people would like bring up like Bright Eyes and like people like those like them, and we're like, yeah, like Omaha was once like a mecca for like that Midwest emo indie thing, which I had no idea.
I had no idea about that either.
Yeah.
That surprises me, actually.
Yeah, which is interesting. And I feel like I'm always trying to get out of Omaha and figure it out somewhere else. And it's crazy to think that there was a time where Omaha was like a place where it could work out for you.
You ever think Omaha should be or kind of needs to be like a country music scene just because we're known for cornfields and
Yeah.
outside of Omaha and Lincoln, it's just rural places?
Yeah. I don't know. Omaha doesn't really feel like, it's like oddly urban.
Mm-hmm.
It's like oddly hipster in some weird ways. Like downtown Omaha is like very like, seems like kind of like I guess hipster is the only way to put it. I think there is like opportunity for a music scene in Omaha, but I think there's also, the city needs to develop for people to have like an identity of what Omaha music sounds like. I think it's all in such a transitional point where like the city is developing, more people are moving to Omaha, but there's no particular flavor that Omaha like offers, I feel like right now. So yeah, maybe country music, but it could be anything.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Next, as I talked to you about, I want to jump into this fun segment. I call this a blind ranking artist section. So I explained this to you. I'll explain it again for those who are listening and don't know too much about this. I see this on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So a blind ranking is you give 5 or 10 options or 5 or 10 rankings, one being the best, 5 being the worst. And what it means for a blind ranking is I'll give you a name. So like if we're going to be doing a band one and an artist one. So for a band, let's say I give you Slipknot and say you think Slipknot is the worst. You say, okay, I'm going to give it a 5, but you don't know
what's coming next.
You don't know what's coming next. So there could be even a worse artist or band like worse than Slipknot in your opinion. And you just go off of that. So it's kind of like you got to think on this.
Okay.
And I have my band. So again, we're going to do bands first. We're going to do a top 5.
Okay.
And then, so the first band on this 1 to 5 ranking is Nirvana. What do you rate them at?
Ooh, I'm gonna go 3.
I'm going to write these down too. So
I like
remember.
Nirvana, but I don't really love Nirvana. I think what they did is sick though. I think Kurt Cobain's really cool. But like
I always think like, what would happen if he was still alive? Because he died at 27.
I know. It's one of those things. It's like, I think the whole face of music would be different. But he also changed the face of music in the short period he was here, which is crazy.
And like outside of music, he was really good with interviews. He was just so entertaining in interviews and my
fashion, like the whole just like culture. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, Nirvana was definitely like a new wavelength for sure.
100%.
The next artist or next band, Led Zeppelin.
I'm gonna go 4.
Led Zeppelin at 4.
I'm gonna go 4.
Do you listen to Led Zeppelin a lot?
Not really, but sometimes we like we're trying to like learn Black Dog, but like
What is Black Dog?
I think it's one of their songs. It's one of their songs, yeah. I don't listen to them that much really, but I know they're really sick and yeah.
Kiss.
5. That's just not my thing.
That's fair.
A little too heavy for me, a little too much.
Their most popular song, Made for Loving You.
Yeah.
Or I Was Made for Loving You. That's the only song I listen to by Kiss.
Yeah, I don't listen to Kiss much. It's just a little too much for me.
Queen.
I guess we'll have to go 2. Also don't listen to them much.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm more like on that like early 2000s band thing. Like I'm very much like in the Strokes and like that type of thing. But I do think Queen is sick. Like great music, but like also just like not my day to day.
The last band I have is you have Grateful Dead at number 1.
Honestly, I'll take it.
Really?
I'll take Grateful Dead at number 1 out of all those bands.
I'm kind of, because I did my research and you said, I think in your Omaha magazine interview that it's either you were inspired most by Grateful Dead, or at least American Dreamers is, or you guys write similar to them. It was like one of those two.
Well, our drummer Max, he's like the biggest Grateful Dead fan or Deadhead that you've ever met. Like he loves the Grateful Dead and like has seen them in concert. He saw them at the Sphere a couple months ago, and I was so oblivious to the Grateful Dead. Like I heard of the Grateful Dead, but I was never like interested. It always just seemed like so like it was like almost too spatial for me. Like there was no structure, just like real jam band like type of thing. And he loves the Grateful Dead, so like he would always like put us on songs and like show us like the Grateful Dead stuff. And I've come to find that like I think they're really sick. And also like John Mayer plays with them, and I'm like a huge John Mayer fan, like one of my favorite artists ever. So
okay, that was gonna be my next question is who's your favorite artist, but you answered that already.
One of them, yeah. I have a lot. Prince, I love Prince. John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Love the Strokes. Love Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like all over. But yeah.
Next, we got the top 5 blind ranking artists now. Okay. So the first name I'm going to say is Taylor Swift, 1 through 5.
Oh, brother. 4.
Do you listen to Taylor Swift?
No. But she's huge, and she has like hits. She has real hits.
She has a real cult fan base, like a definition of a cult fan base.
Yeah, we were on the road one time. think we're going from Seattle back to Oregon, and she played a show, I want to say, in one of those places. And the highway was full of Taylor Swift, like, caravans. Like, these girls with Taylor Swift, like, window paint and, like, all these things. And there was traffic. Like, we were backed up on the highway due to Taylor Swift coming and playing a show, which is just nuts. Like, playing arenas all over the country, like, so much pool.
I was in Kansas City in winter of 2024. It was like February, March.
Yeah.
And Pitbull was in town, and that was big. But I know Seattle's bigger than Kansas City, and I just can't imagine just Taylor Swift fans just swarming all of Seattle.
No, she can shut down a city. Like, literally, she can shut down a city. And it's so sick. Like, I think most artists are going to be like, I would love to be able to do that.
I think she's so big that like Omaha is like out of her range. I don't know if she's ever performed in Omaha.
It's like one of those places people will drive. Well, she played Kansas City, and people from the cities around will drive to go see her in Kansas City. Like, she's huge, man. She's massive.
So we have Taylor Swift at number 4. Frank Sinatra.
Okay. I don't really listen to Frank Sinatra much, but I feel like putting him at 5 is like disrespectful, but personally I don't listen to him much. So I think I'm gonna have to put him at 5.
That's fair. For me, as a 24-year-old, I'm starting to slip away from the hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about hip hop and rap, I've just been listening to Party Next Door, like old Party Next Door, not the new one with Drake within his new album. But other than that, it's just really him.
Yeah.
And I'm starting listening more to like authentic music. And I say authentic because all these other artists nowadays are using autotune.
Yeah.
Whereas like Frank Sinatra is just his voice and an instrument in the background. It's crazy. And
it's beautiful. I think, yeah, it's just like one of those things, like that time was like a whole different time for music.
And that's why I like your music, because every song, I swear, starts with the guitar playing in the background, or most of it.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like you don't have like Kenny Beats or any other music producer or DJ. Like that's like a whole different area of music, which I 100% respect and I like. But I just kind of miss that origin where it's just instruments, like actual instruments, like a saxophone or something like that in the background, and people, and then someone singing over that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I think there's like a actual need for that. Like people want to hear like
authenticity.
Yeah,
because
authenticity.
like anyone can make a beat on SoundCloud and it could be like the most stupidest song and it can go viral, and it's just like we just make the wrong people famous too, in my opinion.
I think going viral is just like you make accidental superstars. You make accidental artists that like didn't mean to be here.
Like the Island Boys, like they didn't even drop a song. They just dropped like a TikTok saying that how they are an island boy. Yeah. And then they made music after that, and it was just like total disaster.
Yeah, and people will jump on it and put a whole bunch of money into it, and the label will think that like no one knows. No one actually knows. Is what I've like come to find out is that there's no way for people to be like, okay, that's what we're gonna do, and you're gonna be the biggest thing ever. No one knows. Like. Not even the labels. Like, no one actually knows how to operate this. So the only thing you can do is be authentic. That's it.
Drake. 1, 2, or 3?
I'm putting him at 2. I think that this is a time where Drake is, like, getting... he gets, like, a lot of slander and hate. But I think Drake is, like, also pushed music into, like, a different space, like, completely. Like... what he was doing, like in the 2000s stuff was,
like when he like first started after his TV show Degrassi
like
was crazy.
Was like monumental, and people have been riding Drake's coattail for years, you know, and also people still listen to whatever he puts out. Like it's not like he's huge. He's also on the Taylor Swift level, like just so big, and like there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of like things that surround him of like being whatever the situation is, but he's a huge artist and like makes music that people care about. So I'm putting him at 2.
Elvis Presley. 1 or 3?
Oh, brother, this is hard because I feel like I'm gonna put him at. We'll put him at 3. We'll put him at 3. I think Elvis is sick. Like I think he was one of the first icons.
Oh, he was the first global celebrity.
Yeah, like what people do now, like Bieber. He was the first Bieber. Like he was the first like person to be like that big.
Mm-hmm.
People wanted to know what Elvis had for breakfast. Like things like that. Like he was the first of the Taylor Swifts and the Drakes. Like without Elvis, there's none of that. He shifted the whole like culture of like what people are interested in and like how people are fans and all that. I think what Elvis did was sick.
So at number 1, you would have Michael Jackson.
Is that who you have?
Yeah, that was my last guy.
100%.
And you said in the very beginning of the podcast how you would watch Michael Jackson perform, right?
Oh, there's no other. I'm happy that I saved number 1 because I couldn't put Mike at 3. Michael Jackson is like, for me, like one of the best ever with Prince. Like, I just think that talking about like the Elvis thing and like global stars, I think he took it to another level of like reality. Like the reality of Michael Jackson was just so skewed. Like you didn't even know what was going on, and like the talent level and the songs are so good. Like hits, the artistry is like calculated. He's just the best.
Similar to Kurt Cobain, how do you think Michael Jackson would do in this generation if he were still alive? Would he get it even bigger? Would he just
if he started right now?
Oh no! If he was still alive.
Oh, he's still alive
with like Thriller, Beat It, and like all his already famous songs being out.
Oh yeah, he'd still be huge. We're talking about him now, and he's been dead for years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
since 2009, it was huge.
He's been gone for a while now, and he hasn't left our minds. So I feel like if he was still here, the landscape of music would be different. I think he would be still pushing the envelope of like what music is and like setting the trends. I think all his past successes would also just keep him like the biggest thing ever, because like those songs were so good and such success. Like I think he'd do great, but
I hate seeing on social media. I don't know if you ever seen this, but they're like, "Oh, Taylor Swift was much bigger than Michael Jackson."
No.
I strongly disagree.
No.
Apparently, Michael Jackson, I don't know if you know the story, it was either in the 80s or 90s. He pulled up to an LA Lakers game, and he was getting so crowded during the game that like they had to shut down the game either for like the whole day or the whole night or just for a little bit, just because Michael Jackson was that famous. I think he had floor seats and everyone was just crowding him, and they couldn't control, the security couldn't control it.
I know everybody, like even I bet the players were like, "Oh my God, that's Michael Jackson." You know what I'm saying? Like that's how famous he was like even your favorite celebrity was Michael Jackson's fan. You know, like he was just like the coolest thing. Like just so good, so cool. Just yeah, I don't think he would do so good in this generation, but also I don't know if he would do good starting out right now. Like I think right now like like the point of entry in the music industry is way different than it was at a time, and like would people want Michael Jackson? I'm sure, but I don't know.
When I think The Weeknd reminds me so much of Michael Jackson, though.
Yeah.
They're so similar, because when The Weeknd dropped, not Blinding Lights, what was the Hills?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like an unreleased Michael Jackson song, and then I looked at the radio and it said The Weeknd, and I'm like, he sounds just like Michael.
That's how I felt.
At least the younger version of The Weeknd sounds.
That's how I felt, and that's also my thing with The Weeknd is like I don't love The Weeknd.
You don't love The Weeknd?
But I love Michael Jackson, and I think it's because I'm like, this sounds too much like Michael. Like I love Michael, and this isn't Mike. Like this isn't what. I don't want to hear this from you. But also The Weeknd's sick. Like I think what he does is cool, but like I think I'm just so much of a Michael Jackson fan where it's like too close to comfort.
Like Timeless by Playboi Carti featuring The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Timeless, Playboi Carti featuring Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Michael's style nor his personality, so I get where you're coming from.
Well, I think the sound sonically of like the flavor of what you hear and like the vocal tonality and like the instruments is Mike. but also the lyrics and the story is The Weeknd, because Mike would never talk about some of the things that The Weeknd talks about and like puts in his music. So I think that's the thing. It's like Michael Jackson, but you make it like extremely X-rated and make people like feel completely different with it, which is cool.
Moving on now. What's the hardest part about being a musician?
I think it's just like the inconsistency. I think like there's very high highs and then there's very low lows. You can play a show and there's a whole bunch of people there and opening up for someone in a packed room and everyone in there like cares about what you're doing, and the next day like you can feel completely like by yourself and like no one really cares like what you're trying to do, and you like your scope of like where you are is like you're still like a very small artist and you have so much work to do. I think there's just it's very inconsistent, opposed to like having a different job where like you go to work every day and you know what you're expecting, you know, and you know you're gonna get paid the same amount at the end of the month. You have like you know what's gonna go on, and I think being an artist is like one day can be completely different than the next, and yeah, I think that's the hardest part.
Do you enjoy being independent?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm not one of those people that's like I want to be independent forever, and I don't want to sign a record deal. Like I only want to do what's best in the situation, and I don't see any problem with signing a record deal. I think there's like a it's like a false narrative with it sometimes of like being independent is the only way to go, and it's not. And like you can sign a record deal and like it could work out and they can help you. You could also not sign a record deal and it could work out, and yeah, I enjoy it, but I'd also not be independent.
What's the hardest decision you've made in the music industry?
I feel like the decisions have been pretty easy, to be honest. Like I feel like I'm not really making hard decisions. I just kind of feel like whatever makes sense, you know? And like I guess the hardest decision is like always like what am I gonna put out, and does this song represent me the way that I want it to? And will it represent me down the line? I think that's like my biggest thing is like I want to have like some sort of a cohesive body of work, and like in the future I want people to look back and be like, oh yeah, this is what like Carver sounded like early on, but I want there to be like I want it to be the same flavor, and I don't. I think the hardest thing is just like figuring out what that flavor is, you know?
Is it hard for you to say no to certain things?
No, not really. I think I have a strong idea of like what I'm going for and what I want, and some things just don't align with that, and I won't do it. But a lot of the time right now, it is a lot of saying yes to opportunity, because I feel like I don't even have the leverage to say no in like certain ways. Like if there's a show that someone wants me to play, like I'm just gonna come play it, no matter if it's gonna be no one there or if it's gonna be a packed room, just because like I'm still working it out and I'm still trying to like find people to grab along this journey. So I don't really have like the leverage to be like, nah, I don't want to do it. Like I'm gonna do it because it's that time, you know, still grinding, figuring it out.
I didn't have this in my notes, but I noticed on your Instagram, and as of right now, you have you're tatted up.
Yeah.
Do any of these do any tattoos have meaning, or is it just for?
Yeah, let me think. Well, these are kind of my first tattoo. That I have a tattoo here. I got when I was like 16 from like some random dude on Craigslist, bro. It was risky. These butterflies, I think there's this time I just wanted them. This is like my mom's eye. This is recent, American Wasteland. This is actually like a Tony Hawk game, and I
Really?
like, used to play when I was a kid.
Do you still skate?
I don't skate anymore, but when I was a kid, that was my thing. Like I loved skating. Like I loved like that whole like early 2000s, like Ryan Sheckler, like MTV Cribs. Like that was like what I grew up on. Like Tony Hawk.
I think that matches your personality right now too.
Yeah, I think that's like also always what I'm trying to like capture is like myself as a kid, and that's what I love. So like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But Yeah, dude, I have a whole bunch of tattoos. Some of them have meaning. Some of them are just cool. It's also like some are just stories. They didn't have meaning, but now they have meaning. Like,
I saw the 13% battery percentage one.
yeah, yeah,
Is that that has to be a story,
yeah, it's a
right?
story. Yeah,
Are you allowed to share it?
Yeah, so last year,
Can you show the camera real quick too? Just
yeah,
it
it's
may
like
not even.
I don't know if it'll show. It's like
Yeah,
a 13% weird little
right next to the
tattoo
star.
right next to the star, the Tommy Lee star, because Tommy Lee's like one of my favorite. Like, I don't even love Molly Crew. I just think Tommy Lee's like so cool. Like, he's just one of the cool,
Unique.
so unique. Like, such a sick dude. But 13%. We had a party last year at Max's land. He has like land out in Blair. His parents do. So we had a party. We brought a stage out there with people, and we also had a tattoo artist, which is highly illegal. Like, I know you can't just like have people bring tattoo gear and just like tattoo people, but we did it. I'm not. I'm sure we won't get in trouble for it, but there was like two girls that were just like tattooing people, like out on this farm. We're like jamming, like playing a show, and of course, like everyone's like naturally drinking, and like there's twisted teas and stuff involved, and I was just like, I want to get a tattoo, and she was like, what do you want? She had like this book of like all these random things, and I was like, yeah, just give me whatever, just like give me whatever, and she was like, how about the 13%? And then it was a long night, so I was like, whatever, you do it, sure. She gave me 13%. I gave her 2 twisted teas for the tattoo, and that's why I have a 13%.
So like your battery phone percentage was not 13% at all?
There was no meaning behind it. Like, it was just like, yeah, but 13 is one of my favorite numbers.
Okay.
And I have a 6 right here with like a star kind of thing around it. And 6 is also one of my favorite numbers. And I was born at 6:13 in the morning. I weighed 6:13. So like 6 and 13 have meaning outside of the tattoo. But in the moment, I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
And then I realized, like, oh, yeah, well, I guess that I was born at 6:13 and weighed 6:13, so it has to be important. But
Your neck tattoos, did that hurt a lot?
yeah, I got neck tattoos, like, early. Like, this one I got when I was, like, 18, like, right out of high school. Someone's basement. I was just so eager to get tattoos. Everyone I loved had tattoos. Like I said, growing up with, like, the stuff I was, like, interested, the X Games and, like, the MTV and Tommy Lee and, like, this whole, like, early 2000s thing where people, like, had all these, like, colorful, like, Japanese style tattoos. I was just so attracted to that. So as soon as I was, like, able to get tattoos, I just started getting them. And yeah, this hurt, but it wasn't too bad.
Rate from 1 to 10.
Oof, like an 8. I'd say like an 8. It's painful, just like sitting there. It's like uncomfortable. Someone's like a needle on your neck doing shading. It's uncomfortable, but yeah.
Last question about your tattoo, the eye tattoo. Did that?
Yeah. That was a story. We were. This is like the first time we went on the road. We were in the van, and we had made our way to Vegas. And I remember we were street performing like all over, of course. And we had played in Vegas that night. And we had got to Vegas maybe at like 8 p.m. And we stayed on the strip because I'd never been to Vegas, and neither had Hayden, but Alec had. And we were just like, we couldn't go in anywhere. Like, we were too young to be anywhere. We went to like a couple casinos because we could just walk in, and like, we were just so green to the whole experience of like being away from home. And I remember being like, I want to get a tattoo on my face because I want to like have something that represents the fact that I'm never going to get a job. That was like the idea behind it. It was like, I want something that says that you can't come work here because you have this tattoo on your face, because I want to do music forever. And I wanted something that represented like that. And I guess I felt like if I got a tattoo on my face, it would make it harder for me to get a conventional job working somewhere, because they'd be like, yeah, you have tattoos all over your body. We don't want you. We don't want to hire you. And I didn't want to be hired because I wanted to do music forever, and I still do. So that's kind of the story behind that. And Alec was like, bro, you need a dream catcher on your face. And I was like, nah, I want something small. And I was listening to a lot of like Brent Faiyaz at the time, and he has like a little cross here. Also like Dominic Fike, it's like I love him. He's like one of my favorite. And he has a little tattoo here, and like a whole bunch of people. It was just like Instagram model girl that I follow that I thought was like so cute. She had a little tattoo here, so I was like, you know what? I'll just like get something.
So you don't see yourself ever working a 9 to 5?
If it came to it, I'd only work a 9 to 5 to make sure I can continue to do this. But like, no.
I think it's kind of betting on yourself too. I love that story. How you don't want to get hired, or you don't want people to hire you because of the
Yeah.
face tattoo, because that's like a job requirement, which
Yeah.
you see on job descriptions when you're applying, obviously. So
Exactly.
that's so crazy to hear about.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in that position. Like I just feel so strongly about the music, and like that's all I want to do. Like if I never have a #1 record, or like if I never get the opportunity to be the Taylor Swift or the Drake that we were talking about earlier, and like that thing, like I'll still be on a street corner playing somewhere, enjoying my life, because like it's just what it is. Like I just enjoy it.
So is that a cross or is it a star, or?
It's like a little star. Like it's like also part of the story is I was trying to get it like right here,
Okay.
like more in like the crack, and it was like he used a very thick needle. Also, we got it at like 2 a.m. in Vegas, some random place, at a 2-for-1, 2-for-100 deal. I got this and this little like this thing right here, and I think the dudes were just like on some sort of like drugs or something. And he was like, yeah, bro, we'll do it. And he just like kind of gave me the wrong tattoo in the wrong place on my face with a thick needle. Like it was supposed to be like a very small thing right here. Mm-hmm. And it became like this like thick, like you don't know what it is type of thing. And I was like so mad about it after.
I would be too.
And my friends were like clowning me, like, hey, now they're like, oh, bro, like, let me see it. And I was like, bro, I don't even want to talk. And it just became like normal. And like, I don't know, sometimes people think it's like a teardrop. I'll go out, people are like, bro, you got a teardrop on your face? You look dangerous, bro. And I'm like, nah, bro, like.
I thought it was a cross at first.
Yeah, I think people have like this idea of what it is, but like, I don't even know. It's like a little star thing. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very unique, as I said. All right. There's two categories I want to talk about, because I feel like we've been here for a while. I've enjoyed this conversation, by the way.
Yeah, me too, man.
The Omaha scene.
Okay.
Music Omaha scene. I talked to Eddie North about this with my interview with him, and a little bit with DJ Doc.
Cool.
How often do you collab with artists from Nebraska?
It's very rare. Like I was saying earlier, I'm just also not like, I'm very collaborative. Like I'm always in sessions with people all over. But like I'm just not always like putting music out with people, and like I guess reaching out always. I think there's some cool people here, but I guess I'm not really collaborating as much as maybe I should. But yeah, I think the Omaha music scene is, like I said, in a weird place where like I don't know the flavor, I don't know what's going on.
Really?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's hot. Like I don't know there's no like particular sound that Omaha is bringing. It's just like a collection of a whole bunch of artists doing things that are completely different from each other, which is sick. But yeah, I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any drama in the Omaha scene?
No, I don't think I'm really in it. Like I think that I don't think I'm in it. Actually, I think that like I pop in if it makes sense. If we're playing a show, open up for someone I know is involved in something I want to go check out. The OEAs thing was like a thing. It was like, you want to play? And like I said, I'll play anywhere. So like you offer me to play a stage, we'll be on the stage no matter where it is.
Were you nominated for an award too?
Yeah. Nominated, but we didn't win, which is fine. I don't really care. But yeah, dude, I think it's just like, I don't know. I'm not really as involved in the Omaha scene.
I've noticed that. I just wanted to double check with that.
Yeah.
Because you love traveling, as we've been talking about so
Yeah.
far, which is very crazy too.
Yeah, I just think I never want to be a local act. No matter where I am, if I'm living in New York, I don't want to be a local act. I just want to be like
You want to distribute yourself everywhere
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of Warren Buffett's like biggest advice is like if you want to be well known or make even a lot of money in his context, he
Yeah.
said you got to distribute everywhere. So like for example, I only do Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
I should probably do iHeartRadio, Deezer, SoundCloud,
Amazon.
Amazon Music. You get
Yeah.
it. Speaking about that, are you more of a Spotify or an Apple Music guy?
Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Spotify is better for the artist. I feel like Spotify has like helped me in places that are really cool, like putting out songs and like getting some playlisting and like things that like have good looks. I just think naturally I like the way Apple Music looks though, and I like it's a little cleaner to me. And I've always used Apple Music, and I don't see myself transitioning over.
Okay, that's all right. I'm more of a Spotify guy.
Really?
Yeah, just because I used to be like, if you were to ask me in high school, SoundCloud, no matter what, it's just SoundCloud, because that's when I was very much into underground rap.
Okay.
Like before XXX Tentacion, when he was just blowing up, and then you had Lil Pump, and I thought that was like generational music. And
It was. That's the thing. It's crazy that was like a thing, and like how that actually shaped so much. Like XXX was just insane. Like the stuff he was doing, and like I listen to some of the records now. I'm like, what? This is crazy.
Like I just like checked like last night. Juice World still has like 9.9 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
You go to XXX, he has over 20 million.
Yeah.
And he's been dead since like 2018, 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like we brought up with Kurt Cobain and Michael Jackson. It's just crazy how these artists are still dead. And even Frank Sinatra's been dead for, I don't know, around 80. No, not 80 years. He's been dead since 1980s.
Yeah.
But like, I still listen to his music.
There's real impact there. Like,
Do you hope that's you once you unfortunately pass away, that your music still lives on, your legacy lives on?
Yeah. I think, yeah, for sure. I do want to be like a household name, and I just feel like I have a lot to share, and I want people to care about it, you know? And I think that's sometimes can sound like conceited, and you don't want to sound cocky, you don't want to sound like all these certain things that like people put on you, but like I do want people to listen to my music, and like when I'm gone, I want people to have something to be like, yeah, but like this is what he left for us, and like the way that all these other people did. I think it's beautiful, and I think it is really cool now. Like even the stuff that's out will be out forever, which is like sometimes a scary thing to like think of forever. But like, if someone wants to listen to that song, someone wants to listen to Middle Name in 100 years, I'm sure they could find it. You know what I'm saying? Just because like it's out now, it's kind of out forever. So it's cool.
It's crazy what the internet can do nowadays.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like you post shit, you can delete it, but people will save it.
Yeah,
And it's just still like unreleased music, especially too. Like someone could just find that, hack some random artist, and then it'll just be on SoundCloud forever.
yeah. People listen. I mean, people find what they like and they listen to it and they attach to it.
Have you ever had unreleased music leaked?
No, not yet. At least I have a whole bunch of unreleased music, but yeah, nothing's ever been like leaked or anything. I don't know if people care enough to leak it yet. I think when you like can leak your music and people care, that's when it's like cool. Because you can just like leak your own things. Like, I want to put this out. Let's leak it. I think a lot of people do that. And that's cool.
Do you have a burner account on any social media accounts?
Not really. We have like American Dreamers band page, which is like very not like, it's just like a random thing we have just for like, I don't even know why we have it. I think it used to be my Sinsta in high school. And I was like, let me just switch this over to a band page because I don't use like my Sinsta anymore. So I just like switched to a band page and I post randomly, like random things on there. But yeah, no burner account, just like my normal Carver Jones 1 account.
So when you record music in Nebraska, do you just record at your house or do you go to a studio?
Yeah, I don't really record in Nebraska.
Okay.
I'm always like, I write songs in Nebraska. I write a lot of songs in my porch of my parents' house. Just like me and a guitar, voice memo them, and like write the song, and then like I'll go somewhere. Like I record a lot in Nashville. There's like a whole bunch of buddies out there that like I'm very tapped in with and understand what I'm trying to do. So I'll just like bring them the ideas. I'm like very much like write the song at home, write a good song with nothing except for a guitar and a song and a melody and all that stuff, and bring it to a producer and make it a record. All right, yeah.
So it starts off in Nebraska at your house, and then you just move it to Nashville or New York.
Yeah, it
and-
starts off wherever. Like I write songs everywhere. Like I wrote my first song, Jeans, in Oregon.
I got a question about jeans.
Okay, sick.
You caught, you kind of caught, you didn't cut. Okay, yeah. So Ariana Grande said "God is a woman."
Yeah.
You repeat that in your song. I was listening because I was listening to music your music when I was getting the donuts that I got earlier. Do you actually believe that, or were you just saying that because that just matched the song?
No, I think I actually believe it. And it's like a completely different sense of like, at the time, like 19 or something. And I realized there were so much things like as a man that I was doing just for like women, like just to like go out and like be around some girls or like be with women, just like the way that women affected my life. I was like, I don't know if God could be a dude because I don't know if I'd be as attracted to that. I'm so attracted to like being around a woman, I guess. That's where it came from. Like being a kid and like being 19, it was like me and the boys are trying to like go hang out and like drink wine with some random girls at a park. And that's what we were trying to do. We're not like trying to find some homies always. So I think I was just like kind of going off the idea of like, if God was anything to me at that moment, it'd probably be some like woman.
Do you still think that to this day?
I don't know. I think it's like when it comes like that thing, it's like whatever you believe.
Did you
know?
grow up was your family religious at all growing up?
Not really. Like my parents are spiritual, but like
Are or are not?
They are. They
Okay.
are. But they're not like particularly like religious. I never was like told to follow one thing. I think I've always just kind of had my own idea of it. But I think jeans, it was kind of just like one of those things that was like, just like going off of where my life was at that moment, being like, I love hanging around and hanging with these girls and like having fun and like meeting new people and like I'm so interested in like this whole nother thing that's not me, which is like a woman. And we were at this girl's house in Oregon named Kate, and we were like living in their basement. We met these friends in Oregon. They're the sweetest girls, like so cool. And their parents allowed us like come and like live in the basement, like periodically. We'd like be jumping from house to house, sleeping on the couches, whatever. And I just like wrote it on her back porch one morning. Yeah, that's how jeans came about.
Okay. Because I'm just gonna believe Jesus Christ died on the cross so I
Yeah.
could be saved.
Yeah,
I strongly believe God is a guy.
yeah,
I'm not gonna like shame you for that because I think that's what drives people away from Christianity. If I were
Yeah.
to like blast you right now,
yeah.
I'll be praying for you.
I just think it's a different. I think there's always a different perspectives in life, man. I think whatever you identify with is beautiful, and you should like really identify with that because whatever you believe is the only option. Because that's you. It's what you believe. It's your perspective, and that's the only thing that ever matters. It's all you'll ever know. And I think
So whatever perspective that makes you the most happy, joyful is what you should grasp on. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, man. I think so. I think so. I don't know. I honestly I don't know anything. I don't have the answers to anything. But me personally, in my life, I think I've been compelled in so many ways, and I just grasped onto that. And like, whatever compels you and moves you is maybe just hold on to it and identify with that and find peace and beauty in that.
You're only like 22 or 23, right?
21.
You're 21.
Yeah, 21.
I say I'm only 24, so we both have a lot of growing up and learning
sure.
and understanding to do. So as long as you just keep living and keep searching
Yeah.
That's why I like to search for truth.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a lot to learn still.
Always. I think there's no point where we're gonna be like, oh, I've learned it all. I hope to be 70 one day and be like, I don't know anything. There's so many, I don't know any. You don't know. Like, life is always changing and evolving, and like, what you know or what is right or any of that stuff is changing by the second. So you don't know anything. You're just kind of experiencing it and, figuring out as you go, trying to figure it out, trying to hold on to it. But yeah.
Back to the Omaha scene. I think I had one more question. What are the places you have performed at specifically in Omaha or Lincoln?
Okay.
Because I know you performed at Duffy's before.
Yeah, Duffy's is sick. We play Duffy's every once in a while. It's always fun because it's like so college, like.
That's your fan base.
Yeah, it's so college, like it's so like young people, and it's beautiful because like people don't really go out and always are able to experience music live at 2 a.m. or midnight because there's a DJ and they're just listening to hits, they're listening to all this stuff they know, but like walking into a place and they like come in and we're playing some electric guitar like loud and like it's just something that I don't know if people always get. So I love playing Duffy's because like obviously that's like seems like such a thing that you're saying like earlier with like the going in the van, that's how bands work, and nowadays it doesn't, and people don't go into venues at midnight on a Friday and are able to experience like live music, especially people our age. So it's beautiful to play Duffy's and things like that, like bars. And then we've played like Reverb. We've played a few times. We're playing a headline show on the 25th. We played another one in December. We've played the Slowdown a few times with artists that have come through, opening up for people. Where else we played?
The Waiting Room?
We haven't played Waiting Room. We haven't played there yet.
The Bourbon Theater?
I haven't played Bourbon, which I would love to. I just think that like right now it's just one of those things where those bigger rooms are rooms that we get added on to by someone that's coming through, or like we can open or like something like that. But I don't want to put up a show that in a room that holds 500 and have 200 people come.
I see where you're coming from.
I'd rather play a small room and have it packed out than just like go for a big room and not be able to pack it out. And one day we'll be able to do that. And I think that I think also we'll come back to Omaha and play these rooms, and they'll be bigger rooms, and like people might identify with what we're doing when we leave and make strides elsewhere, come back, and we'll be able to play these bigger rooms eventually. But
do you have any plans outside of music? You want to, like, any New Year's resolutions or anything like that outside of music?
Of course, I think just like being healthy, like working out consistently. I think like this year I've been trying to like be more, maybe just like a little bit more open, vulnerable, and like honest. I think honesty is like, it's like being more truthful with like everything. So I think it's always like self-improvement things. Also like, it doesn't always work that way. We're humans, and
Now, is there
shit
anything
happens.
in the music industry, such as marketing, songwriting, or even your vocal skills that you want to improve on?
Oh yeah, I want to be better everywhere. I want to be a way better guitar player. I've been playing for like 2 years now, so like I feel like I'm good. I'm not like the best guitar player in the world,
So when you're recording your songs, are you playing the guitar and singing at the same time?
When I'm recording,
Yeah.
no, not usually. When I'm recording, it's usually like we'll lay down all the pieces, and I'll go and do vocals completely separate. But I do write like every song on guitar. Like it's very rare any song that's out that I didn't play the guitar, or like I didn't write it on a guitar. I want to be better there. Also, I just want to be better at just like figuring out a way for people to find the music. It's so hard nowadays to like to grab people and be like, this is what I'm doing, and like there's so much going on. I want to be better at like the marketing standpoint of it all.
Do you video document everything from performances, songwriting, etc.?
We try. Like we're always like recording something somewhere. Mm-hmm. There's paper trails all over the internet that you can go find if you want to. Also, like it's not like they're up with 50,000 views. Like there's videos of us like being on the road, like we were talking about, 700 views, like just paper shows of like the life and like what's going on, because I do believe that one day it'll be important. And today it's important, but like I do think that you want to have those things for people to go back to and be like, oh, I missed this. Like this was cool. This was happening then. Also, I want to be able to look back at my life, selfishly and be like, oh man, this is me when I was 19 on the road with my best friends. I want to be able to show that to people that I love in the future and like all that. So, yeah.
What are the next projects for you in 2025? I know you talked about moving to Nashville.
Yeah, we're gonna move to Nashville. We're just like consistently putting out music. That's just like been the thing. Every 6 weeks, we're putting out a new record, and a video, and that's like very consistent. We just put out American Dreamers Volume 2 yesterday, with just like some new songs and things like that. But yeah, I just want to keep making good music and being consistent, and I do want to like work on a body of work that lives outside of like the singles, because right now we live in such like a singles age. Everyone's putting out single. I want to make like a little body of music, a little like EP or something that like just comes with a whole bunch of songs, and I don't want it to have to be a racehorse for like me to, grab people. I just want to have like a body of work that really feels like cohesive in like a whole project. So I would love to work on that this year.
The most important question I have for you: Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Most important question. Oh, brother. I grew up and I love LeBron. Like, LeBron was like my guy when I was a kid. I think LeBron's so sick. I'm gonna have to go with Michael Jordan, just because I just like his swag. It's not even the basketball thing. I think they're both equally the same amount of basketball player. Like, I think they're like both so good. Like, there's nothing on the court that I'm like, I don't see it in LeBron James. Like, LeBron James is everything that you want to be as a basketball player. I just think Michael Jordan was just cool. Like,
Just cool?
I think it was cool, man. I also think that you always love what's not your time period. And LeBron is like us. Like, LeBron is like our thing. Michael Jordan is this fantasy of like, what was that like? And I wasn't around, so it's almost cooler to me. It's like when you find a band, or like you listen to some old music that's from the 90s, like, well, I wasn't here, but this is so cool. It's cooler because you weren't there. It's a time period that wasn't yours. And that's how Michael Jordan is for me. And I'm like, the sneakers, the everything was just cool.
Do you have any last words or advice for someone in Nebraska who wants to start their music career or band career?
I think the only advice is to be authentic and to be yourself and like do what you want to do, I think. And yeah, I'm still figuring out myself. So it's like, I don't know what to give advice for other people. But what I've done is just been authentic, I think. And it's a slow burn. And my buddy Alex says this all the time. It's like anything that you get fast, you lose just as fast. So don't expect to put out one song, and then the whole world knows your name. It doesn't work like that. And actually it does sometimes, but it doesn't stay.
It depends on the algorithm.
Depends on the algorithm, and it doesn't always stay. And if you want a career with this, like, I think you have to put in all this work, and you have to like be consistent. You have to put out songs that no one listens to and no one knows it ever came out. And then there's songs that people will identify with and that are racehorses for you. And it's a lifelong thing. So I think if you want to do it, you got to do it, and you got to, stay the course.
Carver, I really enjoyed this interview with you. I learned a lot from you and learned more about like your childhood growing up, as well as like how you work in the music industry. So I appreciate you coming on today.
Of course, dude. This is fun.
For everyone that is listening and watching right now, where can they follow you on Instagram, or what social media accounts?
Yeah, Instagram is Carver Jones 1. I think like everything is Carver Jones 1. All my social media is Carver Jones 1. And then YouTube, like Carver Jones, Spotify, Carver Jones. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, I'll have all that in the description below too, in the
Sick.
YouTube bio, and obviously the Spotify audio stuff, audio description. And then where can we find American Dreamers. Just search up American Dreamers on Spotify too.
No, yeah, it's Carver Jones. So like, all the music is under my name.
Okay.
American Dreamers is just like a subdivision of what's going on right now. It's like all the EPs and like everything's American Dreamers. So like the reason it's like Carver Jones and the American Dreamers is because like the EPs we're putting out are called American Dreamers. But eventually it'll be Carver Jones and something else when we like transition into like a new body of work. But yeah, just Carver Jones, Spotify, the whole thing.
Thank you for having this interview with me.
Of course.
And thank you guys for listening.
Of course, dude.